Hey guys, Eric here. I'm with our IGN Comics guru of all things comic books, but we are going to San Diego Comic-Con.
San Diego Comic-Con!
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And there's so much happening there, obviously, with comics. I don't even know how you do this, but we're going to go into 5 things we're excited for. Let's start out, look, comic books, we love our big events. Marvel, they are known for a lot of big events, but they're going to be talking about their next one. Can you give a little tease of what we're going to expect?
Marvel has this, normally they have Marvel All Access panels, what they call it, but now it's spelled Marvel All Access with AXIS. Axis is also the name of their next big event coming this fall.
Okay.
I'm so excited for it, I can't wait. It's the Red Skull has become the Red Onslaught because he now has Professor X's powers of telepathy. And, the worst thing that Professor X ever turned into was this onslaught, giant thing from, so it's like big, monstrous thing. So it's like the premier Nazi black-hearted supervillain is now the Super Professor X. And it's crazy. It's going to involve all of Marvel's biggest heroes, everyone from Iron Man to Nightcrawler. I can't wait. So I just want to know what's going to be there. So that is a panel you do not want to miss if you're a big Marvel fan.
Clearly, when you talk superheroes, comic books, Superman, he started it all in a lot of ways. The big deal superhero. Can you talk about what we're going to find out about Superman at Comic-Con?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'll tell you afterwards. But,
tell me all.
But just a new creative team, a huge creative team was just put on Superman. Jeff Johns and John Romita Jr. And that's a big deal because John Romita Jr. was he was a huge Marvel artist for his entire life, and his father as well. Yeah. So that DC sort of stole him and put him on Superman, their biggest superhero, is just incredible, or arguably their biggest superhero. I don't want to offend any Batman fans out there. So that is just, I want to hear more about that run. It's this story about a new Superman has sort of shown up to contest the current Superman, or maybe they'll be friends. I don't know. That story's been done a lot, but it's always nice to see the new twist on it. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if we got another Superman book launched of some sort. Superman is probably the character who struggled the most in DC's reboot called the New 52. So I wouldn't be surprised for more talent to be stacked on Superman.
Now, you mentioned Batman, and that's the thing is, some would argue that he is the most popular superhero, certainly these days. It's his 75th anniversary, huge deal. There's already a lot going on, both with comic books, but every other iteration of Batman. Clearly, Comic-Con, they've got to do a lot for Batman being 75 this year, right?
Yeah, it's his 75th anniversary. I think there's 2 big panels for that, and I expect big things from both of them. In the current Batman storyline, there's a story going on called 0 Year, where it's sort of Batman's origin, where he first took on the Riddler, and Riddler pretty much took over Gotham City. That's about to end, and the next story is called Batman Endgame, where we don't know what it's about, so I'm hoping to find out at the con what this big thing about. It's drawn by Greg Capullo, who's on fire. Some people might recognize him from Spawn back in the day, and it's written by Scott Snyder. And just listening to him talk about comics, you just get a chill up your spine. So I'm really interested to see what Endgame's about. And again, I think we could get some more Batman comic books announced.
Yeah, and there's a really cool panel, kind of bringing together a lot of big creators that have worked on Batman through the years.
Yeah.
There's Jim Lee, Frank Miller.
So that's going to be huge.
Yeah, so lots of Batman stuff for you there. Let's talk about Image, though, because the Image Expo is kind of an interesting thing in that it happens right before Comic-Con, but in San Diego, kind of tied into it. Can you talk about Image Expo and what we can expect kind of continuing into Comic-Con?
Yeah, Image Expo is, for those who don't know, Image is an indie publisher. Probably it's the 3rd big publisher. There's Marvel, DC, then Image, and they have The Walking Dead and stuff. So. They are going to come and show a bunch of comic books and new creative teams, and really it lets the big people who work on the superhero books, they can tell their own personal stories, their own ideas, and they're usually really great comic books, and it's really exciting to see what they can come up with, sort of without having to deal with limitations in the superhero genre. So the big one I'm excited for, I just mentioned his name, Scott Snyder. He's currently writing Batman, but he's doing his take on Witches. The book is called Witches with a Y instead of an I, and Jock is drawing it. The artist known as Jock, and he is astounding, incredible artist, really dark, and really every image he draws just grabs you. But the take is that all the witches that we know, people who've been persecuted and drowned and hanged over the years,
Salem witch trial,
all those witches, those aren't the witches. Those are the witches who have been worshiping the real witches and died protecting their secrets. But the real witches are something more terrible and bestial. And again, like, so I just got to chill up my spine saying that. So I feel like that's the book I'm most looking forward to. And I also have to mention the big Image book Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples.
Yeah.
That comic on our site is just about as loved as Batman. So it's huge, it's amazing, and for that creative team to be there and talking about it is just great. I can't wait to see what they reveal.
Okay, so you mentioned a lot of really cool big stuff, but I know there's one more thing you want to mention, and it's one you're very excited and I'm excited about too.
Well, this is complete speculation,
Hope.
but it's hope. But
Yeah.
it's a new hope.
A new hope, yes.
Because Marvel Comics now is going in 2015 is going to get the rights to Star Wars.
Right.
They're currently with Dark Horse Comics, but that's going to expire at the end of 2014. And so if they're going to announce Star Wars comics, you would think it would be now to prep us for when they show up next year. I don't know what they could be about. I need like a Return of Darth Maul story, another one.
Right.
I don't know. What would you want to see if you got a Star Wars Marvel comic?
Oh man, I mean, the really possibilities are endless. I do wonder how much they might want to delve more into that. You know, now with Rebels coming, that there's that 20-year gap in between episode 3 and 4. So I'm always interested to see more of that. The Empire at large. I'm wearing the right shirt for it today,
there you
apparently.
go.
But yeah, you know, because they just announced in this past week the omnibuses they're putting out of the original Marvel stuff. And if they're not holding that for Comic-Con, then yeah, I would hope too that there'd be something exciting on the Star Wars Marvel front.
Yeah, man, can't wait.
Yeah, so that's I'm going to cross my fingers on that one too. Plenty of cool comic book stuff. You'll have tons of coverage from Comic-Con here at IGN. So please keep it locked here. Thanks a lot, guys.